Hello, welcome to Truth Runs Deep podcast. I'm Terryn,
I'm Kalli.
and we're here to talk about all things Law and Order, SVU, the original Law and Order, organized crime, because it finally has a date. We talked about that last week. Fans McCriding,
Yeah.
and more. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little so congested, but I do feel better. But we needed to get this done today, so we are getting it done today. So what has happened? Because this is off week again, and we were like, if we wait another week, we're gonna forget what happened, and then we always, every single time this happened, we go, what happened exactly? I don't remember. So, for everyone's
So
convenience,
we're gonna try to get this out.
if not, we'll finish it later. But we're gonna try to get this out today, or
Hopefully soon.
yeah. But
Anyway,
because for time reasons, because off week again. But the episodes coming up are exciting. But we'll talk about that. Well, the week after next ones are getting exciting. But yeah. Anyway,
the announcements wise, Peter had his extra birthday. Everybody celebrated on the 28th, even though it's the 29th. And Danielle's birthday was Sunday. So yay. Yeah. And she and her friends did the most badass extra shit. They
it was very fun.
It was very fun. I think you should explain it. Go for it.
They kind of did like, hold on, they did like a if you're black, you know what I'm talking about, but like the old church mother kind of like dress, because she wanted to, like, Danielle talks, she did it with her post about it. She was like, she had this vision of doing this really fun idea, and she did it, and it was really fun. So they had like the suits with the skirts and the bands and the big hats. Y'all, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, if you do,
yeah, if you know look on her Instagram, you'll know.
Yeah,
and she
know,
basically like, he turned 44, and to some people that's old, and to some people that's young. So she's like, "Frick it, I'm doing this." And yet she still looked fucking glamorous. So
yeah, it was a really cool idea. It was really fun. They had like fans with her like her picture on it. It was great. It's a really cool, like,
yeah, it was like Danny's like 44th or something. It was really cute. They had a church fan.
Idea, so they did have a church fan. Yes. Y'all don't know about that, man. Yes. Yes, it was great. So, that's probably one of the coolest, funnest birthday ideas I've seen in a long time about, like, creativity wise. So
we love you, and we cannot wait to see you again.
Yes. Yeah, Organized Crime will be on in April. So,
okay.
What I think we're gonna do is, for Organized Crime, is we'll post an Organized Crime episode to get, like, do it by itself every other week. So you'll get we'll discuss 2 episodes, one every other week. So we'll have a lot more things to record, but it makes it, because I know some people don't really care about Organized Crime on the other, because in like our other show, and like a lot of sense to try to like put it with SVU, because with the other 2 shows, because you're gonna get 2 episodes the first night, and we don't want to record for like 4 hours, and then sorry. No one wants to listen to 4 hours in one setting anyway. So maybe might.
We could talk for 4 hours. You don't want to listen to us for 4 hours, but
yeah. So for everyone's best interest in Teenage fans, we'll probably do it by myself. 2 episodes together every other week. That'll make the most sense, I think, for production wise. So y'all will see that in April. So y'all get 2 episodes. You'll get a podcast. You'll get 1 week of podcast with 1 episode, and the other week will have 2 episodes, because it'll be the SVU, SVU Mothership, and then those ones. You'll have a lot more episodes.
Okay,
so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get over this cold, and all of a sudden I was fine up until right now. All the mucus is in my nose. But I'm gonna blow my nose, actually. So I'm gonna go blow my nose, so you can get started.
TMI. Okay. Anyway, while Terryn's doing that, we'll start with the mothership, and that mothership's episode was called "A Price to Pay." Price. No. Okay. And it starts with like these 2 guys on a movie set, and they're filming like not necessarily like a hostage situation. One guy's like tied up to a chair and the other guy has a weapon to his head. And they're doing really good acting and the scene is going great. And then all of a sudden someone's phone rings.
Yeah, they have like
And
the original, not the original, but like the classic iPhone ringtone, like the one that that like you know it when you hear it.
yeah, you know it's an iPhone. And the director's like, what the heck?
You're ruining the scene.
That was perfect and you just ruined it. And he basically kicked the guy out.
Yeah.
And so there he's looking at like the main actor. He's like, you good to do this again? And he's like, yep. So they started again, and then the scene transitions to the small bar where Shaw is with his former unit. And they're having a retirement celebration for his former sergeant. And apparently he would put vodka in his cornflakes.
Oh, apparently he used to drink a lot. They're like, bro, like you come in or something like it was some kind of joke about like drinking a lot excessively. But
Yeah.
Anyway. But when you think about it later on, it'll be like, oh, yeah. But we'll get to that later. You're like, and when this makes sense at the beginning, when you like think about it, you're like, oh yeah. Anyway, continuing.
And then he sees his old training officer, the one who got him started when he was first starting in the NYPD. And the training officer had done 3 tours overseas.
Which is a lot.
That is important to note. Then we transition back to the actor and he is dead.
Yep. You know how this show goes. It's like, bam, dead.
And the Riley and Shaw go to the scene and Riley looks at him and he's like, damn, this guy just got his 3rd Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Oscars, I can now officially say that Wicked is an Oscar-winning film. Woohoo!
Yeah, we're gonna watch it soonish. It's not on Peacock yet. It'll be in soon.
Yeah, but not Peacock. We'll watch it together. Also, if you haven't watched Ariana and Cynthia's opening performance, go do that. It is in order. You will love it. And I've pretty much listened to it constantly since it happened. So go listen to that. Okay. Anyway, back to the show. So the guy's name is Johnny Coleman. He's a famous actor. They find out that the killer wore Converse because there's like footprints at the scene.
Yes. Yeah, Converse have very specific. They're at the bottom of their shoes are very. I have several pairs of Converse, so I can tell you this. They have a very specific print on the bottom of their shoes.
They then go talk to the director. His name is Noah Winters. First off, he's awful, but then he's like, "Look, Johnny and I didn't have anything against each other.
We didn't have any beef or nothing, but this director is pretty terrible.
We went out for a drink and talked.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There wasn't anything crazy.
Talked to his assistant because the assistant said they went out together, and his assistant also said that he was trying to get he had a super fan named Brittany Weaver. He was trying to get an order of protection from him. He had a stalker.
Yeah, which of course they have to put you on these red herrings at the beginning of the episode, like they do. But
and I will say, at least this woman wasn't dangerous.
She wasn't dangerous. She hadn't reached dangerous territory yet.
Yeah,
she was creepy, but not dangerous.
I don't know,
that line between creepy and dangerous, but not dangerous yet. She ain't gotten dangerous yet.
And this
because there are people who are dangerous who become stalkers.
Repeat offender. Anyway, they go to talk to him, and she's like, "No, everything was fine.
I didn't hurt him.
He let me come up to his apartment." They're like, "What?"
Because
and she's like,
not in like an offensive way, but she's not the most attractive woman, okay? Not in an offensive way, but she's not like his type, okay? She's not like she's just a regular woman. She's not like his celebrity type, I guess you can put it. That's the way I can put it.
Did you do anything? And she's like, "No, we just talked." and talked, and it was really nice. She mentioned that she saw a sandwich on his table, which was at the crime scene.
Yeah,
which
it's very
the
specific. I
detective
forgot what
knew
it was
that.
now, but
And she's basically, the guy was basically like, okay, fine, I'll let you up and we'll talk, but then you can't bother me ever
yeah,
again.
or like,
And she shows the cops a video of him being like, bye, Brittany, remember, this is it.
yeah,
This
we
is
did it this
over.
one time. Don't talk about this ever again, because people be.
And she was like, it was really nice, other than the fact that his ex kept calling, threatening to kill him.
You're like, wait, what? Because it's
You're
like
like,
she just gotta throw it in there. And they're like, what do you mean?
so they go to talk to his ex, and she's like, I don't want to kill him. He's just behind on paying his alimony. They went.
Legit, like, pay your alimony. Be responsible divorcees. Anyway.
Yeah, the ex goes on and is like, he recently been on some sort of substance, not like, any of the typical ones.
Starts
Ketamine.
with a K. That's all we're gonna. It starts with a K. YouTube doesn't like that word, so the K substance. Okay, it's cute. Maybe they won't catch us the first time, but the K substance. Okay, that's what I have to call it because this word appears a lot. It starts with the K.
Yeah, the K substance, and that most of the time he was K sober.
Yeah.
So like not fully sober, but like functioning. That it made
Enough
functioning
to,
so well
know how
on
much
the substance, it made it look like he was sober.
Yeah.
And then he recently started a clinic to help people get off of the substance.
Yeah, which are like, well, not necessarily that substance, but like other substances. Kind of use that substance. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you can speak so.
Like how he once talked with like an actor on a balcony and like almost got shoved off. So now it's like, okay, so now we have the Matthew Perry case and the Liam Payne case.
A couple of things.
Yeah. Like basically
they kind of took some headlines a little bit here.
They go to talk to the actor that was on the balcony with Johnny, and they're like, look, we're not famous, but we're too famous for regular rehab. We can't go to regular rehab. It will be in all the time. Talk about this. Everybody's gonna know. So Johnny created a rehab that was totally discreet to help celebrities like him that needed it. They then find out that the assistant, her name is Casey, she lied to them. She said she wasn't the last person with him, but she was. Because then they found her DNA on the sandwich.
Yeah.
She had a suitcase. She's walking down the street, and they tried chasing her, and she's literally running.
Like, bro,
with the suitcase. Why are we gonna
run again? Exactly.
They eventually get her, and they talk to her, and they find out that everybody pretty much knew about Johnny's K usage, and that Casey was his delivery girl. Casey got him
the K.
And she goes and she's like, oh, he got it from this doctor who gives it to a lot of people. And so it's like, okay, so he gives it
to illegal. I don't know how legal it is. That's I'm like, I'm the doctor. I don't think doctors be handing out the K substance. All right.
He gives it to pretty women who have rich clients.
Yeah, he's making a little extra on the side.
How are they gonna get this? And then in something that none of us saw coming, but was awesome. Violet undercover. Woo!
Honestly, we would have known. If he had paid more attention to the photos, we would have known. But we did. Because I looked back at the pictures, I was like, they put it there, and we would missed it. We didn't realize who it was.
You didn't see it? Oh, okay. Well, if you don't remember who Violet is, she is like the tech girl of the mothership She's awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like literally in the doctor's office in like this nice little white suit. Her hair's pinned back in a bun. She looks like a preppy assistant, and she's trying to get this substance for her client. And the doctor's like, "Yeah,
they're kind of making
I
deals
can do it." And
for
then
some extra,
she's like, "Okay, great." And then the door swings open, and
because they have to confirm that he makes the deal to be arrested. Like they can't just talk about it. He has to say he's going to do it. So
and he did. So then they walked in, and okay, now you're arrested. Now his last name is Nagel, and they're talking to him. Brady is interrogating him with his lawyer present, and Sam is in the back with her arms crossed, just looking fierce. Like, the doctor is all shaken up, and they can't figure out why. And then they realize that it is K cramps, because somebody's going through withdrawal.
When you withdraw from K substance, you get really bad cramps. So,
and then they're like, the lawyer's like, okay, my client will like give you everything you need, who gave this to Johnny, etc., who his other delivery girls are, but we need something. And then Sam's like, okay, we drop the charge to this, and you give us this and this. And the guy's like, yeah, no, we want full immunity, and then you get all of this plus this.
And they're like,
and then you could tell Sam is like,
you're asking too much now.
Doesn't want to, but they kind of need to.
Yeah.
So she says, "Who said altruism isn't dead?" So
he's like, you're asking for too much.
Yeah, she's like, it's not. She's not thrilled about it, but it's the only option she has right now. So they let him go, and they get his information. Then they go and they find out that they find the woman who has been distributing the substances, and they call her Mother K.
Literally, they call her Mother K. You're like,
oh, okay. And so they go to arrest her, and Riley's like, we're about to take you on a journey of your own. Oh no, it was Shaw. And then Riley's like, oh, they call you Mother K. Cute name.
I know, it's pretty funny.
And then the woman, her actual name is Diana. Diana Owens, I believe. And she's like, she's like talking to Riley, and she's like, you need to relax and get some help. And she's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, my wife would agree with you on that, but
not with Triple K.
Not what we're talking about. And we then find out that Johnny had a $250,000 tab on the substance.
He's using a lot of it. They go through $250,000 of K. Man.
So now they have the person that did this. So the next step is for Brady to go talk to Price, and then they go talk to Baxter. And they walk into Baxter's office.
A surprising plot twist is about to occur that we weren't prepared for.
No, they find a bottle of wine on his desk. And they're looking at it, and they're like, are you taking... Brady's like, are you taking questions on that? He's like,
no.
He has an assistant, and then his assistant walks in, and he's like, where did that come from? He's like, oh, your friend dropped that off. And they're looking at him again. He's like, look, her name is Kate, and surprisingly, she likes me, and I won't be taking any questions at this time.
Wait, what?
So now we get...
You're like, wait, hold on.
That we were wondering that, his marriage ended, apparently, because...
But when it happened, we don't know, because he was like wearing his ring for a long time after that. So we were like, when did it happen? So I was trying to like go through episodes being like, when did he stop wearing his wedding ring? So
where last season finale he had his daughter testify. The mom did not want her daughter to testify.
Don't do it.
he made her do it. He pretty much needed her to do it. And so the mom was upset and did not show up at Baxter's campaign party for the.
They were waiting for the election results at the end of the season.
Yeah, she was not there, and that is the last we've seen of her, and we just didn't know what was happening, and so now we know
because he had his ring on
it's
for
over.
a long time after that. He wore his wedding ring for a long time after that until
So we find out
remember he said his wedding ring on, and we were like, maybe they're fine. No.
We find out her name is Kate.
Oh.
And she likes it. So Baxter's got a girl.
But this is very important for next week. Yeah.
So
but this is very important for the next episode. So
unfortunately, to anybody that wanted Baxter and Olivia to do something, sorry. That's not happening now.
Not right. Not now. But this is very important information for the next episode. But we'll talk about why this is very important.
Well, there's that. Now they get Diana's client list, and they're all looking through the client list, and Jalen sees his friend, his old training officer, Daryl Moore's name on the list.
Yeah, because he's buying the case up.
He's like, oh great. So he goes to their house, and they're all having a party or something. He pulls his friend aside, and he's like, D-Money, because that's what he calls him. He's like, D-Money, what's going on? And he's like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I took it. I didn't take it for the reason other people take it. I took it because my PTSD from Afghanistan was so bad, I needed it to go away.
Yeah, so he's not using it for bad. I mean, I guess I don't know if you can say that per se, but he wasn't dealing or anything like that. He kind of was using it as a.
He's like, I haven't taken it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So Jalen's like, okay, you might need to testify, and he's like, no. And so Jalen leaves, and then Sam and Nolan go to the doctor's office to pick him up because he's supposed to testify.
Yeah.
And Sam politely walks up to the door and she's trying to open it.
They don't hear anything. They're like,
hello?
Anything? She's like, it's Samantha Maroon and Nolan Price. And they don't hear it. They hear noises, but not.
And then in a turn of events, Nolan, from out of nowhere, I don't know, gets all this energy. He fucking slams the door open.
Yeah, he's like, Sam. He tells Sam to move over, and then
he goes, it's like,
yeah.
Apparently Price
he's
works
excuse
out.
Me, Sam.
Okay, then. And Sam's kind of just standing there
he just kind of shoved the door open like that. Okay.
Man.
But anyway, the doctor is.
Anyway, they find him on the ground. The doctor's on the ground. Overdosing.
He's ODing on.
Very badly.
On
Sam is checking his pulse. Nolan's calling an ambulance.
It's not good. He's it's foaming at the mouth. It's not good.
Too late. Because now the prosecution doesn't have a witness.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much going to talk to the judge, and the defense attorney is trying to be like, oh, my client deserves a fair, speedy trial. It's not her fault that the guy is dead.
Yeah. Well.
And then Nolan argues basically that that was literally our entire case. We need more time. Yeah. And then the judge agrees. And then Nolan's
he's like 2 weeks?
Great. 2 weeks should suffice. And he goes to walk away, and the judge is like, you have 2 days. 2 days.
Oh. Great.
Yeah, he's like, thank you. 2 weeks should suffice. No, you have 2 days.
Oh.
Great.
So they're getting back together again.
Yeah, so they get Shaw and Violet late night working on the crime.
They're looking at some footage
and they're
stuff.
Looking to see what Diane was doing during the after the murder. And because I think we forgot to mention, wasn't he stabbed? Yeah, the actor was stabbed. We forgot to mention, it wasn't the K that killed him. He was
Yeah. Oh
murdered.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going through the footage and they find this guy that went to go see Diane. And he turns towards the camera and Jalen's like, shit. Cause it's Daryl. Which means Daryl lied. And that he hadn't seen her in 2 years. He literally saw her right after she committed the murder.
Yeah.
So Riley and Shaw go to talk. Riley drives Shaw to go talk to him again, and Jalen's telling a story that his first arrest, he arrested a really big perp, and he was in like a room, and
in the like holding cell, but he forgot to lock the holding.
He forgot to lock it, so the perp literally walked out the front door.
Yeah.
And Daryl could have let Jalen get away with it, but he took the blame for it. And then Riley's like, bro, I'd take a bullet for you, but not that.
Yeah, he's like, am I losing my job for you, dog?
Yeah. So then Shaw goes to talk to him, and he's like, he admits that he saw blood on Diane's shoes, which is huge. And then Jalen's like, you need to testify. And Daryl again is like, no, I will lose everything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be dishonorably discharged.
And they're like, at first we're like, we don't know. But then Jalen goes to talk to Sam, Price, and Baxter, and he's like, if he does this, he will be dishonorably discharged. He will lose everything.
Yep.
And then Jalen goes on to say, so Coleman can use this substance because he's rich and famous and no one will give a crap.
Yeah.
Daryl uses this to escape his
PTSD and you get in trouble about it.
And now everybody's like, oh, you can't do that, you're in trouble. Which makes a huge amount of sense because there is definitely a huge difference in using a substance just to use a substance and using a substance to heal you.
Yep.
They go to try to convince him again. And he says, you might as well take that service weapon of mine and put it in my mouth.
Yeah, Daryl's like, I can't do it. I won't have anything if I do this.
Yeah. So at that point,
Sam goes to
subpoena
him.
Subpoena him to testify.
Pretty much subpoena him at this point.
They go to his house. His wife is there, and she's like,
well, the door is open. And at first she's like, knocks on the door. And then like the door is open, and then she's like,
he's gone. They're like,
what do you mean? I was kind of scared for a moment that Daryl had made another decision.
Yeah, I thought he was going to. Thankfully, he did not.
He didn't, because I was like, I hope he didn't, self-exit, but he did not.
It's like when Jalen went to talk to him for the third time, he's like in his dress uniform, so he's like,
yeah,
no.
He had gone to the officer place.
Yeah. And so Sam goes back to the courthouse, and then we see Nolan be like, he's in Japan?
He's like, yeah.
He has a new post in Okinawa, Japan.
Yep.
They can't get him back. That's pretty much it.
He's not coming.
And so now they're like scrambling even more.
Mm-hmm.
And Nolan is getting extremely pissed off because this case is personal to him.
It's personal to him. Yeah.
If you do not remember, unfortunately, his
younger brother. I mean, we don't know if he might be the oldest brother. We don't really know for certain exactly. But I think
his brother Chris died from an overdose.
Yeah.
He said that his brother was in rehab, but then his brother's dealer picked him up from rehab, and 3 weeks later, he was dead. He tried. He tried to get healthy. The dealer immediately went, "Oh, you're better now? Okay, we're gonna start over." And he says that these people, like Diane, and his brother's dealer, these people are parasites. They take and take from them and they don't care.
Yeah, they just want their money. They don't care.
Well, the first witness is dead. Their second witness is in Japan.
Yeah.
They literally have no other option. They have to offer a deal.
Yeah, they got nothing.
They got nothing. So they the deal was for 10 years. And the people that are like talking to Nolan afterwards, they're like, 10 years. That's it.
You're like, well, that's all I can do.
Yeah. And so he walks out. And for some reason, Jalen decides to fucking be there. Like, dude, if I were you, I would have gotten the hell away from this courthouse. But okay. And he's like, Nolan's like, what the hell did you do? Shaw's like, he got called to Japan.
Yeah.
Nolan's like, no.
You did something.
You did
You could be
something.
arrested. You tampered. Witness
Like,
tampered. You could be...
There are people in that courtroom who deserve justice, and you took it from them. You could I could arrest you for this.
Yeah, for witness tampering.
Quite literally, witness tampering and obstruction of justice.
Yeah, he's like, literally, you could be arrested for this. And he's like...
So, and Shaw's like, okay. And Nolan's like, that's all you have to
do. He's like...
And Jalen's like, okay, so I could get a little more prison time for a drug dealer or save Daryl's life.
So he chose the latter.
Yeah.
And that's like how it ends. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like there isn't really a right
There's no
or
good solution.
wrong or
good solution.
Good ending in this scenario.
No.
But, like, keep in mind, Price is, like, the only one who kind of knows that Shaw fully did this.
Yeah.
And this is now the second time
they got beef again.
That Nolan and Price have gotten to an argument of, like, you can't do this. And if you're going to continue to do this, I'm going to subpoena you to not do this.
Oh, okay. You can't be doing that. But, we have laws.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're right.
Anyway, next episode.
Oh, boy. Remember how we talked about Baxter's...
Remember how we mentioned Kate? Yeah.
Well, it's called Crossing Lines. It's literally called Crossing Lines. So this is very...
Of course it is. So the scene, the promo starts with Nolan and Baxter in the diner. And Baxter, in a turn of events, is freaking disclosing his relationship to Nolan.
He says it's a conflict of interest.
Because we find out that Kate is a defense attorney.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's the defense attorney on the current case Nolan is doing.
What it says is, when an up-and-coming politician is found dead, Shaw and Riley entangled the victim's personal life to identify a suspect. Baxter must recuse himself to help Price and make the case.
Dude. I want to be like, what made you fall for a defense attorney?
Not only that, Nolan says she threatened our eyewitness. So we'll see
if this relationship continues by the end of the episode, or
it feels like a no, but
Benson and Baxter people have hope.
We'll see. Who knows what'll happen? I feel like this is Ship's going to fail this. Somebody put in the comments, "Uh-oh, Baxter. It's not looking good, all right? It's not gonna be looking well for him these days." Baxter, yeah. So, the defense attorney threatened the witness.
I want him to find somebody because I found it was cute when he's like, yeah, believe it or not, she likes me. It's like, oh, he has a girlfriend. Somebody
but
likes
now,
him. But now we have
she threatened the witness.
Else.
Threatened the witness, so it's really not looking good.
Find somebody else.
Yeah, so Baxter, well, see how it goes next week, because there's no episode this Thursday, so we gotta wait a whole nother week to find out how this goes.
All right, and we are going to take a pause for the time being.
Yeah, we're gonna continue this later. We have things to do. I'm sorry.
We'll be back with the SVU part later.
Yeah,
and that was a good one. So
everyone also seems to be confused about when did Baxter's marriage actually end. Everyone's confused. No one knows when it happened. I feel like they need to address that specifically, being like, so when did it end? Because you had your wedding ring on, so like 2 episodes ago.
In this episode.
Who knows? So we will see what happens, but
Yes.
That's fun.
For now. Bye for now. We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll record. Do you think we're gonna do this today or another day?
We'll find out. Okay, bye.
Okay.
For now.